Okay, for this tutorial, you're going to need, I got this clasp, and I think you can purchase them online at a lot of places. I got mine on eBay, and it is approximately 8 inches across or 21 centimeters if you want to get the same size that I have. And I got it off eBay. It wasn't even that much. I think I got it for like $6 or $7 maybe. It was pretty cheap. I think it's really cute. And you can, of course, you can get other sizes, but if you want to make one like mine, it's just about 8 inches across or 21 centimeters. And I'm going to be using Red Heart Super Saver in a burgundy color. Actually, it's called Claret, but looks burgundy to me. And I'm going to be using a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook, a size I, 5.5. And I have a purse chain, a gold purse chain that I just got off an old purse, and I might attach it to this. That's what these are for. You can attach them, attach a purse chain if you want. And you don't have to. You can slip these off or just leave them. It doesn't matter. But I haven't decided if I'm going to do that. But if you want to, you can. And like I said, I just got mine off an old purse. But they sell them too on the internet if you want to do that. And one other thing you'll need is a good matching thread to your color of yarn. I mean, it's not perfect, but it matches good enough. And a regular thread needle, because we're going to be sewing it on through these holes. Unless, of course, you can get a yarn needle skinny enough to go through these holes. You can sew it on with your yarn. I unfortunately don't have any that skinny. I don't think. I tried. I even tried an embroidery needle where it's bad enough to get yarn through, but it's still skinny. But yeah, just don't go through them very well. I don't want to have to struggle the whole time. So I'm just going to use regular sewing thread and a regular needle. So I got my thread to match the color of yarn that I'm going to use. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Okay, I'm going to be making this with just single crochet. So you can start with any number of chains that you want. I'm going to start with a chain of 38. And you can see it's a little bit bigger on each side of the clasp, because I'm going to gradually make it go smaller. And it's going to be made with 2 separate pieces, and then I'll sew them together. Sew them together out of 2 pieces. I think that's the best way to do it. So once you get your chain of 38 like I started with, you want to go ahead and single crochet in the second stitch from the hook, and then I'm going to single crochet in every single stitch across the chain. Just one in each stitch. And sorry about this dark yarn. Since it's such a simple pattern, I thought it'd be okay. I know you probably can't see it very well though, but it's real easy. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue doing one single in each stitch for the length of my chain. Get to the end after your first row of single crochet. You just want to chain one and turn, and continue along doing one single crochet in each stitch. Starting in this chain one is actually counting as a stitch. So this very first one you don't go into, but you go into the next one. And this is just the way it's going to be for a few rows now. Just one single crochet in each stitch, and when you get to the end, you just chain one, turn, and go back across again. And I don't know how many rows I'm going to do, so I'm going to get started on mine and let you know how many I do total. And I said just a little bit ago that I was going to do it in 2 pieces and sew it together, but I don't know if I'm going to do that now, so don't hold me to that. Like I said, I make these bags up as I go, so sometimes I don't really know what's gonna, I think something's gonna work good, but then when I'm making it, I change my mind in the middle of it, so don't ever hold me to it. I still might do it that way, but I might not, but I'll be sure to let you know what I do before I do it. So right now, just keep going, doing rows of 1 single crochet in each stitch, chain 1, turn, go back, another row of single crochet, and I'm going to keep going with mine, and I'll let you know here in just a second how many total rows of single crochet that I do. Okay, I went ahead and did, oh my gosh, a spider just dropped down on me. Ah! Sorry about that. Spider just dropped down from my camera stand. Scared the crap out of me. Okay. I went ahead and did 14 rows of single crochet. And now I'm going to chain 1 and turn, and I'm going to do some decrease rows. So now I'm going to do 4 single crochets and then a single crochet decreased. 4 single crochets and a single crochet decrease, and I'm just going to do that pattern to the end. So this chain 1 is going to count as our first single crochet, so I'm going to go ahead and do, there's 2, 3, and 4. So counting that chain 1, I have 4 single crochets in a row. Now I'm going to do a decrease. I'm sorry about the dark yarn again. I'm going to go into the next stitch, drop a loop, and go up into the next stitch and drop a loop. 3 loops, yarn over and go through all 3. Now I want to do 4 single crochets in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a single crochet decrease. Go into the next stitch, drop a loop, and then you go to the next stitch again, drop a loop, yarn over, and go through all 3. And then I'll do 4 single crochets in a row again, and then a single crochet decrease. And I just want to repeat this until I get to the end. Okay, I made it to the end again after that row of decreases, and I want to chain 1 and turn. And now I'm going to do the exact same thing again that I just did. I'm going to do 4 single crochets in a row, so this chain 1 counts as our first one. So there's 2, 3, and 4, and then I'll do a single crochet decrease. That 4 single crochets in a row, and then a single crochet decrease. So just repeat this one to the end. After the end of that row of decreases, I'm just going to chain 1 and turn. Now I'm just going to do 1 row of just putting 1 single crochet in every stitch. So now it's just 1 single crochet in every stitch. We won't be decreasing this row. So just go ahead and finish that out to the end. 1 single in every stitch. Okay, after that row of just all single crochet, 1 in each stitch, we're going to do 1 more row of decreases for this piece. So we're just going to chain 1 and turn, and it's going to be just like before. We're going to do 4 single crochets in a row, and then we're going to decrease. And that chain 1 counts as your first one. So there's 4, and then I'm just going to decrease. And I'm just going to do 4 again, and then decrease. And I'm going to do that all the way to the end, and that'll be the last row of decreases for this section of the bag. Okay, I just finished that last row of decreases. Now what we need to do is chain 1, and now I'm going to do 1 single crochet in every stitch across. And I want to do 8 total rows of single crochet. Just 1 in each stitch, a total of 8 rows. And once you get up to 8 rows, you can go ahead and tie off. And you're going to need two of these sections. I decided I am going to do it in 2 sections. So 8 rows of single crochet, 1 in each stitch, tie off, and then you'll need to make 1 more of these pieces just the same. Okay, I got my piece made. I got both of them made actually. And that's what it looks like so far. And I'm going to, I already got one side sewed on to here. And I'm sewing them on before I sew the whole bag together. I think that is going to be easiest that way. So I'll go ahead and show you how I sewed it on right here. It's real easy. It looks really nice though. And then when we're done sewing both pieces on, and then we'll sew the side to the bag and the bottom of it together. So what you want to do is you open up your clasp, and then you get your thread and your needle ready, and you want to get a good matching thread to your yarn, if you can find one anyways. And it's going to be sewn up inside here like that. And it's kind of hard to get started with, but you just pull it up in here. And I actually tried to pin it a little bit last time just to hold it in place until I started sewing it, but kind of cram it up in there and just kind of stick a pin in one of the holes like that, just to get it held there until you can get some needles, your needle and thread through it, and then you can move these pins. But once you get it started, it's real easy. It'll stay in place pretty good. Okay, I have my needle and I have my thread doubled, and I just put a little knot at the end, and there you can see my 2 pieces of thread. So I'm gonna go, like I said, it's a little difficult to get it started, but once it's up in there, you gotta have this piece opened up. Just go up through the bottom. Make sure you're getting your yarn piece, and go pull it tight, and then I'm gonna go directly to the next hole and make sure you're getting your work in there. Hold it in there tight. Go through just like that, and I'm gonna go into that same, I'm pull it real tight too so you don't have no bumps coming up. The back hole again. I'm gonna go back to this one from the underneath. I can find it here. Pull it through nice and tight, and I'm gonna go through the same hole again. I'm going to go through each section 3 times. That way it's on good and secure. So that's 2. And then I'm going to go again one more time from the underneath. And then back through. So I went through that section. I'm going to move that needle 3 times. Now I'm going to move to the next hole here. Just make sure your yarn's up in there, or your work's up in there. And I'm not going to go from this needle, or from this hole to this hole. I'm just going to go directly into this hole right here. Like that. Real tight. And then down through this hole. And you just got to make sure each time that you pull it pretty tight. Okay, and I'm going to do it a total of 3 times, so that's once. Just to make sure it's good and secure. 2. 3. Okay, I'm going to move over. I can move this needle out because once you get it started, it tends to stay in place pretty well. Kind of make sure everything's underneath there and tight. And now I'm going to go, here's where we just did this one. I'm going to go to this one underneath. And then go over to this one. Now, everybody does it differently. If you want to go, just keep going and not leave the space in between. You can go from here to here and here to here. But I'd always just leave that space in between. But that's entirely up to you. And I'm going to do this again 3 times in the same spot. So it's nice and secure. I really should have used a lighter color, I guess, but I really wanted to use this color for this clasp that I had, and I only have this one, and I wanted to do a tutorial, so now I'm gonna do, here's my last one, so I'm gonna move over to this one from the underneath and go over to here, and I'm gonna do it 3 times, nice and tight. There's one. Sometimes I have a hard time finding it. Two. 3. Okay, I'm gonna move over to the next. Just make sure my piece is, here's the underside so far. See, my piece is up in there good. It's been sewed up in there really good. So I'm gonna go to the next one, and I just pull my piece up under because there's a ridge. You can see the ridge here. They all have a ridge. And just kind of pull your piece up under the ridge and hold it there with your opposite hand like I am right here. And then I can go to my next point to sew. Once it's a little awkward getting it going, getting started, but after that it holds really well and it's a lot easier. There's one. Two. And 3. See, I'm not even using them pins anymore. You kind of just need them for like the first 2 stitches, and then after that it stays pretty good. So I'm just going to continue doing this all the way around my piece. And when you get over here to the end, we have to stretch it a little bit. You want it to be nice and tight. So it may look a little short, but it'll go. You just need to stretch it. And then once you get that done all the way around, it'll look like this side that I got done. Right, it looks really nice, I think. Turned out really well. And then once you get both pieces sewed on, then we'll go ahead and sew the bottoms up and the sides. Okay, I got my piece sewed up on both sides. And I think that it's looking pretty good. There's the inside. I think it looks pretty clean. I got it as good as I could. And now I'm going to sew up the sides. So I'm going to go ahead and shut that. And I'm going to get my crochet needle out again. Okay, I'm going to sew it together now. And I'm going to single crochet it together. So I'm going to get the first stitch up underneath this thing on both pieces. This side and then on the other side. And I'm going to go ahead and go through that slip knot that's on my hook. Pull through that. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is chain 1. Now I'm just going to go across to the next stitch, and then I'm going to get the next stitch on the other piece, and I'm going to single crochet, and then I'm going to get the next stitch on the other piece, and single crochet. And I'm going to do this all the way down the entire piece and across the bottom and up to the other side, just single crocheting the whole piece together. And then when that's done, I'm going to add some type of edging, but sorry it's so dark, but I'm just single crocheting these pieces together, and I'm going to keep going all the way back around to the beginning. Okay, now I'm going to put an edging on it, and you don't have to if you don't want to. It's completely up to you, but I just went ahead and started my yarn in my first single crochet from when we were outlining it, and now I'm going to go back into that same stitch and single crochet. Now I'm going to go into the next stitch, and I'm going to do a double crochet, and I'm going to do another double, and then I'm going to do a half double, and then I'm going to do a single, like that. And then I'm going to skip a stitch, and then the next stitch I'm going to do a single crochet. That. And then I'm going to skip a stitch, and then in the next stitch I'll do what I did before. I'll do 2 doubles, a half a double, and then a single, all in the same stitch. And then I'm going to skip a stitch and single, skip a stitch, and then do my 2 doubles, a half double, and a single, all in the same stitch. And I'm going to do this all the way around, back to the beginning. Skip a stitch, single, skip a stitch, and do my 2 doubles, half double, and single, all into the same stitch. So just going to repeat this back around. Okay, I went ahead and went around the edges with my shell, and I finished that up, and then I just went ahead and put a flower with a button on it. And like I said before, it does have a spot for a purse chain if I ever wanted to put one on there. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do to this tutorial. And this bag is going to be a giveaway bag. I'm going to have a giveaway for it. If you want to participate, I'm going to be selling entries for $1 a piece or 6 for $5. And you come to my Facebook page and you can find out all the details. And until next time, have a good day.